ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Brought to you by Huntington Federal Savings Bank. Local then, local now. Member FDIC.
It is Tuesday, December 17th. Your Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. You can be a part of the program anytime by calling the Miller Lite phone lines, 877-420-TALK. That is 877-420-8255. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. It is the original white beer. You can also hit us by text by calling the phone number I'm going to give you. It's real simple. I'm getting you ready to start using that more. All you have to do is hit 304-523-8401. Hit text. Text us, so we'll get your text messages. Hey, we got a lot to get into today. We have got a new ball game when it comes to basketball. That's right. Marshall last night gets the victory over Morehead State. Dan D'Antoni gets the 100th win of his career at Marshall. It's an 89-62 victory. He gets the 100th victory at LST Johnson Arena. LST Johnson, of course, the coach. That means the most to Dan D'Antoni. Marshall's first victory at Morehead since November 29, 2006. They committed 11 turnovers, the lowest number they have committed since the Florida game. They hit 10 three-pointers. That ties the mark they hit against Toledo. They improved to 54 and 47 overall against Morehead. That's a plus. Now they're back home Thursday. They've got Eastern Kentucky. Guess what? I don't see anything happening better for Eastern Kentucky. If Marshall can do that to Morehead State at Morehead State, you get the OVC coming back now. I don't see Eastern Kentucky doing anything close to what Morehead could do. We're going to find out at 7 o'clock at the Henderson Center. But that's then. I mean, that's going to be happening here in a few days. We've got this game to get into because we got Andy to talk about. That's right. Andrew Taylor is his formal name. Everyone's calling him Andy. You know why? Because we all watch the Andy Griffith Show. Sheriff Andrew Taylor. So he's the new sheriff in town. So I'm excited. I'm exactly excited for one reason. Marshall's got a new component in basketball. He's going to bring a lot of offense. He's going to bring a lot of basketball IQ. And I think that's going to open up things for this team. I mean, you just look at the score sheet last night. In his first game, 13 points, 5 of 14. He was 3 of 8 from the three-point line. He gets you 3 steals. He gets you 3 assists. Got to knock some of that rust off. He picked up 4 fouls in that game, but it just opened up. Darius George got 16 points in that game. Tavion Kinsey, he's good for 10 at least. He pulls down 11. Aaron Bennett, he gives you 14. Jared West, he pulls in 11. Get Jansen Williams to hit a few more of those shots, and he could have had more than 9 points. He was 3 of 7 shooting. And I look at this and think, okay, things are going to open up here. I mean, Marshall shot 30 of 66. Okay, that's not too bad. 10 of 27 from the three-point line. We'll take that. 19 of 24, so they were good on the free throw line. They out-rebounded Morehead State on the offensive glass 14 to 10. So they got more offensive rebounds than Morehead State was able to pull down. That means second chance opportunities. Marshall scored 18 points, second chance. That's compared to Morehead's 12. Marshall was also very good in the paint, 38 points in the paint compared to Morehead's 18. Fast break points, 7-4. It's almost pushed there. The bench even comes in and outscores Morehead State. I mean, all in all, this is a good game for the Herd. And Marshall shot 46% in that first half, 45% in the second half. So average that out, they're shooting 45.5% for the game. 8 of 15 from the three-point line that first half. It cooled off a little bit in the second half, 2 of 12. But in that first half, they shot 53% from the three-point line. Put it all together for the game, 37%. Free throws, as we mentioned, pretty solid there. But you go back to just their performance here. Turnovers were limited. Morehead State had 19 turnovers. Now, Morehead State did win one category. I thought that maybe Marshall would win. That's block shots. Marshall pulls down 4 blocks to Morehead's 7. Marshall, though, they own the steal category 11-4. Just looking at some of the key stats here. I thought Marshall would maybe own that particular stat. They've been pretty good all season long so far. But at the same time, you get 5 guys in double-digit scoring. You get a guy who hasn't played pretty much 2 years, knocks some of that rust off, and he's out there creating. I mean, he even went in and dunked at one point. He's got a little swagger to him. And I think that was a key component this team was missing. Now, I'm not saying this team is going to go and win Conference USA right now based on one game. I'm not saying that. But I like it. And 89 points. They go into a place they have a hard time winning. They've had some of their better teams go in there and get punched in the mouth. And they go into a place that is known for herd losses. And they win that game 89-62, and it could have been more. Marshall had a lead of 28 at one point. Morehead was able to chip away a little bit at that. But 28 points. You're leading by 1 point, 28 points. And you get to see some of the other players that you normally don't see for long periods of time play. And that was good as well. All right, what do we got coming up? Now, we're going to hear from Andrew Taylor. We're going to get his thoughts from last night. We'll hear from Jared West. We get his thoughts as well from last night's game. We are going to talk football. Player interviews happening today over at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So this is last chance to talk to these guys before they head over to, the airport. Thursday, going to be bright and early for them. I think they got some ridiculous practice time in the early morning too before then. So they're going to be sleepy. They're going to be hopefully sleeping on that flight as they take the trip to Tampa. But Thursday they leave. That means we've got this week basketball on Thursday. But on Wednesday night, we've got Doc Holliday because early signing period will be Wednesday. So that means we're going to hear from Doc Holliday tomorrow. Also, we will hear from Doc Holliday during his coach's show, and that'll come up tomorrow night. So a lot of football to get into, and when we come back from break, I want to hear from Tyler Brown. We're going to talk about getting ready for Central Florida. See, I cannot call them UCF. I still have that in my head, Central Florida. It's Central Florida. They want to go by UCF. All right, I'll do my best. No promises. No promises, but we'll talk to Tyler Brown when we come back. Later on, we'll talk more basketball. We'll hear from Andrew Taylor. We'll hear from Jared West. We'll get your phone calls in. 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. More on the way. It's The Drive, presented by Huntington Federal Savings Bank on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're taking Paul Swann everywhere. Download or subscribe to The Drive with Paul Swann on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Now, had a chance earlier this afternoon to talk to a few of the guys as preparation continues for the bowl game between the Herd and the Knights of Central Florida. One of the guys I talked to was Tyler Brown, and Tyler had a great breakdown of everything. And the first thing I asked him when I was talking to him earlier was just kind of, where are you with your preparation?
I'd say we're right in the middle of preparation. I mean, last week was majority of skill development for our younger players, but about halfway through the week we kind of switched the pace and got into digging into UCF a little bit, and so we're right in the middle of them right now.
Another question I had for him was, what did he see on film? Now he's had some time to study them and get ready, and they're pretty far along in their game prep. I just wanted to get a feel for what he saw when he looked at that Central Florida film. Very
explosive, fast-paced offense. I mean, I think the number 4 ranked offense in the nation, whatever that stat is, and you can see it on the film. They got playmakers all over the field, and they get another play off before you're even before the refs out of the way. I mean, the refs are falling, trying to get out of the way once they place the ball. So, I mean, they're super fast, super fast.
I was also curious if anyone stood out to Tyler.
All their running backs, their number 13, the receiver, their quarterback. I mean, they're all good.
And with that said, all that talent out there, I wanted to know for him, what was the challenge?
I think our biggest challenge as a defense, which is everyone, is just going to be able to, after the play is over, just get back to the line of scrimmage and get set and get our eyes on the call. Because, I mean, it's hard to get the call in that fast because they're snapping it within 2-3 seconds after the ball is placed. I mean, they're snapping it. So we got to make sure we get back there and get our eyes on the people making the calls for us so we know what we're running.
Now, one of the questions that was asked of Tyler was how important is staying focused? Just getting that right mix of guys, getting the right rotation out on the field, knowing that UCF is going to be such a high-tempo team.
It's basically whoever's going to go out, like whenever we start a drive, whoever's going out there, like there's a possibility that no matter what the situation is, they're going to have to stay out there because there's times that they don't sub. And like I said, they snap the ball within probably 3 to 5 seconds, unless it's a third down or whatever. Normally within 3 to 5 seconds of the ball being placed. So there's no subbing going to be allowed. So it's not, you don't have to just lock in mentally. We got to condition a little bit more now. We got to get our bodies ready to go and do this. I mean, I think they average like 80, 90 plays a game on defense, which we might have only seen that. I don't think we haven't seen that at all this year. So we definitely got to condition more too.
Another question that was asked of Tyler was just how do you prepare for that tempo in practice?
Everything in practice is fast paced. It's actually kind of crazy. Our practices are flying by because everything we do is fast paced. So we normally take sets of 6 to 8 plays, and say those plays normally take us 5 minutes to get through. I mean, they're taking us a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get through. We're already done. It's fast paced. It's a different game than we've been playing.
And one final question that was asked of Tyler was the fact that he's going to be out there on the field because, well, you might not be able to get off with the tempo that UCF is running. So is he going to be asked to do some different things?
I mean, not really. And there's things that we've done all year that we kind of blend in there that we are running it. Just a lot of people don't know we are running it. So, I mean, it's just going to be the normal stuff. It's just going to be a lot more bulk of plays at one period of time. Instead of getting subbed out on a third down, I'm probably going to have to play the third downs. So
that's Tyler Brown, and don't forget we'll have more player interviews throughout the week. We'll also hear from Doc Holliday tomorrow as we get closer and closer to this game between Marshall and UCF. Also, it's early signing period tomorrow, so we'll definitely hear from Doc and get his thoughts on some of the upcoming players you can expect to see in the Thundering Herd uniform. We got more on the way, plus your phone calls, 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're taking your phone calls, 304-399-8255. You can also be a part of the show, toll-free, 877-420-8255. Welcome back. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Basketball yesterday was fun, right? Got to see a redshirt freshman come off the bench for the first time. Start. Gets his first game under his belt. And you know what? 13 points. Pretty good from behind the line, right? Looked pretty good out there. 3 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Getting started, right? Talking about Andrew Taylor. And last night after the game, we had our very own Bill Cornwell there. We had a cast of characters behind the scenes taking care of us, and we've got Andrew Taylor. Here's him talking to the media after the contest.
Yes, it's I've been waiting on that moment forever. Like, I knew as soon as I went and got that jump ball, I was like, it's about to come out. All that time I've been sitting out. All that time I've been watching the team play, like, all that anger built up inside of me almost, I guess you could say. I just felt like it all came out tonight.
You look at this team and adding you to the rotation, how much easier does that make it on Dan? Simply because it seems like y'all can get into a rotation without taking two ball handlers off the court at any time. It seemed like y'all were really comfortable with that tonight.
Yeah, I feel like it just adds another option that can set things up. Jared and Tavion, they've done a pretty good job, but I mean, why not? If you can have 3 primary ball handlers out there that can set something up, that just makes the defense, looking here like who's gonna do what next almost. So
that energy level that you all displayed tonight, do you feel like it was above anything you've seen this season?
From the stands, I would say yes, because I was involved in it. I was hyped. It was my first game. Like this is the best game in my eyes. No matter what. But just being out there with the guys, coming to the bench after like timeouts and stuff, I could definitely tell there was something in the air, something extra.
You feel like they were feeding off the fact that you were on the court too?
I do, and I love the guys for that. They've definitely helped me through that.
In the second half, you all build the big lead early, and this team's had a tendency to sort of lull a little bit at times and let teams back in at that point. But you all start on a big run. You have a three and then a rip and a dunk really quick. What was that like, just to set the tone in both halves and sort of establish that, hey, we weren't giving this lead up?
Shoot, I didn't know what was going to happen when I came out. Like, I just kind of played, Dude came down with the rebound. I ripped it. Took one step. I was there. I was shocked. So, you're asking these questions. I'm shocked that I did it. So, but if the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna take it every time. So.
All right, that's Andrew Taylor. We got his thoughts from last night. Another guy that was a standout in this contest, Jared West. Jared West, Tavion Kinsey, both these guys add 11 points to their totals. Marshall had 5 players with 10 or more points. Jared had 8 assists. You look at his stat line, and I think it's going to open up for him as well, because now he can go out there, he can be that aggressor a little bit more. I don't want to be the guy that has to go up against him. If Jared West is guarding me, I've got to work for my game. And we got Jared West's reaction to having Andy out there on the court with him. Here's Jared talking about last night's victory and having Andrew out there for the first time.
Now, Jared, I know that you all have practiced with Andrew for the last few months and really gotten to know his game. But having him out there, how much pressure did it take off you and Tavion tonight, and what element does that add to the game?
Well, first of all, I want to applaud Andrew. I felt like he was really prepared. I thought he came out ready to play. I didn't think this game was too big for him in any way. I thought he was ready to play, but I think he helps Tavion and I a lot, honestly, on both ends. Andrew played really good on offense and defense today. He helped ball handling, obviously. I know he got a couple assists, especially early on, hit a couple shots that helped all of us. And honestly, I think he helped out a lot on both ends and, brought some energy today. I thought he was ready to play and well prepared.
You get those 2 threes early back-to-back. Mm-hmm. It jump starts, I think, an 18-2 run. Mm-hmm. Just seeing a couple of threes go down early, what does that do for the confidence of this team?
Finally I was able to get something to fall, you know what I mean? But, I thought it was really good. I thought Andrew got Jansen's shot early and then got Tavion a 3 early, so I think that set the tone. Obviously, I was able to hit 2 threes in a row. And I think that just brings energy for us on both ends of the floor. I think that gives us in a groove on offense, and then defensively allows us to, it gives us energy to compete and play with a lot of effort on the defensive end as well. I think we talked about this last game or a couple games ago, how we come out flat on offense and affects our defense, and I thought today we did a great job of coming out strong on offense, and that helped our defense as well.
I know Dan preached energy, especially against them. They like to get on the offensive glass pretty well. I thought you all did a good job of containing them, and you got 12 into foul trouble early, which is pretty big.
They play hard. That's one thing they really do well. They play hard. They box out. They go to the glass hard, and they're pretty athletic. I thought we did a good job of matching their intensity. We fouled a little bit too much, especially at the end. We got to do a better job of that. But I thought as far as matching their effort and intensity, we did a great job. And from an energy standpoint, Coach Jay and Duffy preaches that all the time, but I thought we did a great job of that today.
14 offensive rebounds. I think it went to 18 points for you all. Okay. Yeah, and how, especially with the style that you all run, getting up and down, getting open shots, those offensive rebounds, those second, third chances, how important are those to deflate a team? I
thought that was very important. I thought we did a great job of that today. Everybody, honestly, all inclusive. That's really big for us. We miss a shot, we get an offensive rebound and score. That's an extra possession, an extra bucket. That's really big for us, And I think that brings energy, especially just knowing that we're competing and playing hard and matching their intensity by going to the offensive glass. We know they're good on the offensive glass, so we come back and do the same thing to them. I think that's huge for us on the offensive end. And, obviously, when we get those offensive rebounds and we score, that limits their transition. So I think that helps us on the defensive end as well.
This game, Is this what you all envisioned 2019-20 to be?
Yeah, for sure. That was probably the most complete game we played all year, and I think we need to continue that going forward. We came out with energy. We finished the game with energy. We played well on both ends. We made shots finally, and, we just got to keep it going.
There you have it. Jared West, got to keep this thing going. They feel pretty good about this, don't you think? This is game 1. What does game 2 look like? When he's out there, he's actually been out there. Real game, real situation. What's game 2 look like? Are we going to see 5 guys in double digits again? I mean, what are we going to get? I mean, we're going to have that calming presence. I mean, I was talking to Bill Cornwell earlier today, and he was there yesterday, so he was actually watching it live, and just said that if you look at his game, you see how he operates. He's just got that calming presence out there. No panic. And this is game 1. This is just game 1 of Andrew Taylor out on the court. Now, I know this has been predicted to be coming, and again, we got 1 game under our belts now. And those who go to practice have said, hey, look, we see this every day. We see this every single day. This is not a surprise to us. It's what we see. Now we just saw it in game form against a real live opponent. So there are some, and you know who you are. You go to those practices every day. You know who you are. You're there, and you see it, and you're like, come on, Paul, you know. Why are you surprised by this? Why are you surprised by this? And so let's see if game 2 of the Andrew Taylor career will be as significant as game 1. We've got time for your phone calls at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. I'm throwing the curveball over in the producer's booth. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Gabriel. Curveball time. You know what I want, right? You know what I want. I want Dan D'Antoni. Well, let's get Dan's thoughts on this one last night as well.
Well, that was the big thing. This group down here always gives us trouble, and we took an NCAA team that won the first game down here, and they just shellacked us a couple years ago. So they play hard, good coaching, but our kids are starting to mature a little bit. And of course, when you add Andy, just adds another player in there that kind of stabilizes the ship, gives us more ball handling on the floor to run our offense. And we shot 37% from threes and 45 from two, so we can get better than that. But the hallmark of this team is going to be defense. And when they really apply their trade, they're long and athletic.
Coach, you get your 100th win in the gym of the coach that you played for. Is there any kind of sentimental value to winning here in this gym, Ellis Johnson, or is this just another win?
Well, any win's a great win, so I don't discount any win, but it's a life story, and that life comes full circle, doesn't it? And I'm playing in a place where Coach gave me a chance, and I got a chance to come here, and he was a big part of my life early, and I got a chance to I don't know who he'd be rooting for because he coached here and there. So, but Ellis was a good friend and a good coach. So I'm happy for our kids that we get to keep that trophy with Ellis's name in our locker room.
You look at 5 double-figure scorers. Assist-to-turnover ratio was what you wanted, got on the offensive glass. All the things that you mentioned that you all struggled in, you excelled in tonight. Is this what you saw or what you envisioned whenever this campaign started?
Well, for this game, yes, and we're going to have to keep doubling them up all the time. But I thought Jared had a great floor game, 8 assists, 0 turnovers. And that was what we've been doing. We've been turning the ball over too much. We weren't making threes. Marco came in, hit 2 big threes in the first half. It kind of pushed him out the door a little bit. So, they're all capable of doing that. I told them, I said, if y'all hold each other accountable, you don't let your heads get in the way and you pull for each other. And when you're in there, then you have a job to do. Get it done. And don't look around for excuses. You step up and take care of your job. And we got a chance to be a really good ball club.
You look at adding Andrew to the mix, and you were able to consistently have 2 ball handlers on the floor at all times, whereas before, if you try to get Jared a rest or Tavion a rest, you're primarily down to
one.
Well,
we were playing Jared too hard. and really Tavion too, but especially Jared because, he doesn't take a play off and he doesn't take a drill off in practice. He probably runs to the table to eat, I'm not sure, but he's a tough nut, and it just eased the load on him, and I think you can see it in his game. He doesn't feel like he has to make all the big plays now. He can work with his teammates, and that's a good thing. And I think, again, we're not where we can be, and if we keep working and growing, we can be a very good ball club.
I feel like your energy level on the offensive glass especially demoralized Morehead during the runs that you all made.
Well, we've been trying to get on them about that. In fact, first half we charted how many times they didn't go to the board, and we challenged them at halftime. They got, and I'm just making these figures up because I wouldn't tell you what they were, but I would say, like Iron, you didn't go 5 times. You didn't go Jansen, you didn't go 4 times. George, you didn't go 5 times. Cam, you didn't go 6 times. Whatever it was, we're watching to see if they go rebound. And we put a lot of emphasis on that offensive rebound. And we should be a very good offensive rebounding team because we're long, we're athletic, and we're quick. And they shouldn't accept not going for the rebound.
Andy Taylor specifically, any surprise, him coming from the get-go, just playing well?
Yeah, it was really a big surprise. He missed 2 threes in a row. That surprised me. So I think he'll be even better than that. So he's a good ball player, and he's under control, no mistakes first game. I think 1 turnover. But he'll grow. Now, he hasn't played in 2 years, so he's going to grow.
He's got a little bit of grit about him, too. I mean, you look at the second half, he gets, I think Henson got a rebound. He gets a rip from him and goes up with a 2-handed dunk.
No, he's strong and tough, and we knew that the first day we got him and came out, and who was it? I think it was Jared that challenged him just to see if he had any moxie to him. And I think Jared found out real quick this kid's got some moxie. So, I'm happy for him. Again, I'm happy for our team. And it's going to be a team effort, all of them. And like I said, we got a lot of good players. My challenge is to try to get as many in there to play as I can, I thought Iron had some nice touches inside. He got a little bit where he was trying to go by himself, and we'll have him work through the offense to go back to him. But other than that, pretty good game. Still gets a little tired, but that's the good thing about having Gorin and then having Michael and Jansen. I mean, we can stay big even when he is out of the ball game.
Danny D'Antoni just laying it out last night. He's got a new toy. Pretty much, Santa came early. Christmas has come early for Dan D'Antoni. Now, there's a new sheriff in town. We're going to see more of the sheriff coming up on Thursday. We'll have that game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Hey, don't forget, we're opening up new avenues for you to be a part of the program. Of course, you can give us a call at any time, 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. You also have the text option now. You can do that at 304-523-8401. That is, believe it or not, easiest way to do that. Actually, I've given you the wrong number. They're wanting me to use 399-8255. So I'll tell you what, let's do that. Let's use 304-399-8255. That is our text number to use on the program. We got more on the way. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Never miss a moment of The Drive with Paul Swann. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
304-399-8255. That is our text line, toll-free 877-420-TALK. That is 877-420-8255 to be a part of today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We have got, of course, coming up on Thursday, Marshall basketball back in action, taking on Eastern Kentucky. And then we've got Herd football on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Monday. We got Herd basketball on Sunday. I should have had that Snickers today, Gabriel. I should have had that Snicker today. Hungry? Why wait? I should have had that Snicker today. Just give you a heads up, we got bowls coming up all week long next week. Gabriel, you're going on vacation. Except for Herd basketball and football. We're going to have bowl games. Unreal coming up. We got bowl games on Friday. We got bowl games the weekend. We got bowl games throughout the week. We don't have a bowl game on Christmas. We got bowl games. If it's a bowl game, we've got it. So if you're looking for bowl games all week long, if you're going to be in the car, if you're going to be stuck in the car, that's the good thing here. If you're going to be stuck in the car, you're going in between places, you're trying to get that last minute stuff done, and you're like, honey, I want to watch the game. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I got you covered. We got bowl games coming up, so I think the way we got this laid out, we got a show tomorrow, and then we've got pregame action on Thursday, and then you look at the calendar, we're done. We're done for the year. Then I get to go home and recharge, recuperate, rest, come back stronger than ever. This is the joyous time of the year for me. You know why? Because I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch bowl games. I'm absolutely just going to, and I know I rail on the games because there's too many, but I'm watching them. Now, okay, granted, I'm doing it for different reasons. But at the same time, you're looking for something to do, like on Christmas Eve. Sports. I mean, now Christmas Day, we've got NBA basketball. By the way, thankfully, the NBA has decided that their players should entertain us on Christmas Day. So thank you. Thank you, NBA, for allowing your players not to spend time with their families on Christmas Day. I wish we had a video cam right now because I'm trying to explain to Gabriel, our producer, who is all of, 21 years old? All of 21 years old does not understand. What? How do you not understand in there? No. If you're gonna give me the I don't understand sign, you hit that microphone, young man. Talk to me. What do you not understand?
I understand what you're saying. I don't understand why.
Money.
Still.
Money. What are you doing on Christmas Day?
Probably watching Christmas movies with my family.
Okay. What do other people who like sports do on Christmas Day when they're done watching Christmas movies with their family? What do they do?
They could watch a game or they could watch an older game. Fair enough.
They're watching basketball. The NBA, it's like come on. The NFL plays on Thanksgiving. I mean, so what's the difference between the NFL playing on Thanksgiving and basketball playing on Christmas Day, Gabriel? All of 21 years old and full of wisdom.
Fair enough.
Thank you. NBA holidays. Come on, we got bowl games on New Year's Eve. We got bowl games on New Year's Day. If it's a holiday, we've got a sporting event somewhere. I mean, the NHL plays on New Year's Day. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably watching that. That's going to be in the repertoire. That's going to be in the hopper of things to do. I can't believe this. I can't believe you sometimes. I really can't. That's okay. You know what? He's still our best producer we've got. I'm serious. I'm not picking. I'm serious. He's still he doesn't understand. He does not understand the content of the show sometimes, and that's a fair criticism for a lot of people. But he does a good job. But we got bowls. I mean, let me pull the bowl schedule up here. I got a few minutes here. Let's do this. All right. We've got the Bahamas Bowl. We're going to carry the Bahamas Bowl on the 20th. Then the Frisco Bowl. And then we're going to carry on the 21st. Now, I had two options here. I went with bowls. We got the New Mexico Bowl, the Camilla Bowl, and the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, all on the 21st. There's NFL action that day. No. We're going with this. And then on the 23rd, we'll have, starting at 11:30 for us, I believe I'm going to be at Roosters. Let me firm that up. I'll be over there sometime that day, but I believe at 11:30 a.m. That's where I'm going to be. And we'll do the pregame. I'll have Dave Walsh back from his hiatus. We'll do our show one final time for the football season. On the 24th, we've got the Hawaii Bowl. So Christmas Eve, you're out and about. You've got a game. Christmas Day, basketball. Gabriel Sellards, our show producer, and sometimes foil for this show. And then on the 26th, we have the Independence Bowl. 27th, we got bowls all day long on the 27th. We've got the Military Bowl, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, the Texas Bowl, the Cheez-It Bowl. I'll have to bring a box of Cheez-Its in for you. Cotton Bowl's on the 28th at 11:30 a.m. And then somehow we're going to transition into the playoffs. We got the Peach and the Fiesta. That's coming up on the 28th. So we got the Cotton Bowl. We got to have the Cotton Bowl. You just have to. And then the Peach and the Fiesta. On the 30th, we've got the Music City Bowl and the Orange Bowl. I'm a big fan. I've always been a fan of the Orange Bowl. I don't know why. I've just been a huge fan of that game. Because we're getting to the point where these are games that, as a kid, I heard of. Gabriel, you heard of the Orange Bowl. Well, you have now. Okay, welcome. Thanks for paying attention to the show content for the first time today. I appreciate it. Belk Bowl is on the 31st. Liberty Bowl and Alamo Bowl. We'll have all of those games. So New Year's Eve, bowls. Bowls. Citrus Bowl on the 1st. Happy New Year. Here's the Citrus Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. Gator Bowl is on the 2nd. That's going to be over on our sister station because we got Herd Basketball that day. So Herd Basketball on the 2nd, but we still continue on with our bowls. Then, on the 3rd, famous Idaho Potato Bowl on the 3rd. We come back and we got basketball on the 4th, I believe. And then the national championship game is going to be on the 13th. I'll post those. Give me some time. I'll post those up on our website. Or I'll post them on social media. Just give you an outline of... I'll just post the bowl games where you can find them. But we've got a multitude of bowls. And we would have more bowls, but some of them play at the same time. Or we would have even more bowls. I was even trying to get some of our sister stations here to put their schedules aside so we could carry more bowls. I mean, it didn't fly. They vetoed me in the department head meeting. But still, I was trying. I was trying real hard just because, again, I think there are too many bowls. But, and this is a big but, I'm definitely into carrying all these things because I'm going to listen to most of these things or watch these things. I don't know why. There are some matchups they're not compelling to me. I'm not into it, but I'll watch. And that's the thing. Because people are going to watch these things. And yeah, I don't know if there's ever a sense of being bowl weary because, I mean, what are you going to do on New Year's Eve? You're going to watch bowls. Maybe, unless you've got something else to do. I don't know. I mean, go to a New Year's Eve party maybe, and they'll probably be watching bowls. Unless you're going to like specific party, they're watching bowls. They're like you're going to a party. It's a nice dinner. They'll be dancing and reveille, and we'll all be watching. I don't know, Ryan Seacrest, Dick Clark, rocking New Year's Eve, whatever combination of names they throw in that thing. No, buddy, I'm watching bowls. I'm watching the bowls. New Year's Day, bowls. Day after New Year's, Herd Basketball. That's where that's where it is. I mean, come on, the Gator Bowl, I'm doing it. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, yeah, I'm watching that completely. And these are just the games that we're carrying. These are our games. So we're covered. We got you covered. You're going to be stuck in the car somewhere. We got you completely covered, and you don't have to worry about it. And that's why this is the most wonderful time of the year. It is Bowl-a-palooza. It's a complete Bowl-a-palooza in all of this stuff. I mean, where else can you get this? I mean, just basically the second half of December on, you just hijack it for a couple of weeks. It's sort of like March Madness, but for football. Now, think of how excited we would be if this was actually formatted in a college playoff, a real, honest-to-goodness college playoff, where we've got 16 teams. You know what? Expand it if you want to. You could have some teams get first-round byes. I don't care. I think 16 probably is more than right there. I think 16 would be fair. Honestly, I think 8. 8's all you need. You want to expand it? That's fine. Here's what I envision. All the conference champions get in. You win your conference championship, you get into my football playoff. So that's 10. And you could have some buys if you want to. If you want to bracket this thing out, you could have some buys. Or you can have a few at-large bids. How many at-large would you have? If you've got 10, the 10 power conferences, you get them in. Okay, group of 5 for those of you who love to call it Power 5. You get the 10 conferences, put them together. Get like 6 at-larges, maybe. I always felt that, though, if you don't win your conference championship, you don't win. If you got a conference championship game, you don't win it. Well, I'm sorry, you don't get to compete for the current setup. If you expanded to 16, then I would make room for some at-larges. But if you're going to have everybody get an automatic bid that in a conference championship and wins it, it's 10 teams. You could have a couple of buys. I think you could do some buys there too. You could bracket it as such. Let some. You could seed them as well. You rank them. Number 1 would get a first-round bye, obviously. You could do this. What's the difference than doing the bowl system? I mean, you just get right into it. Get right into it. And, if you want to still have the bowls, you can. But I really don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because, again, the bowls are events. It's television product. It's media-driven. It makes money for somebody. And the opportunities these kids get, I mean, we talked to Brendan Knox today. You're not going to hear it until maybe tomorrow. I talked to Brendan Knox, and one of the questions that was asked of him was just, hey, what are you looking forward to? What are you going to do down there? And, we've joked around with him a couple of times now about Busch Gardens, but he's like, I never seen the beach. Like, really, Brendan, you've never been to the beach? He's like, no, I'm looking forward to going to the beach. Now, Brendan Knox could have a career in the NFL. That man could be playing on Sundays. So eventually he would see the beach. But can you imagine a lot of these kids that don't have these opportunities other than football? Football has taken them to Tampa. And for some of these kids, they've never seen the beach. I mean, that's where I think, it's, you know what, okay, too many bowls, that's fine. Brendan Knox is getting to see the beach. I'm good with this. I'm good with, okay, all the bowls, I'm fine. Because that kid gets to go see the beach. He's never seen the beach. Perfect example of why I have no grounds when it comes to my argument that there are too many bowls. And you can argue that, okay, teams that are 6-6 are getting in, and it's not an honor. You didn't earn it. That's fine. The only bowl we're talking about here with significance are the national championship games. Everything else is just another opportunity for these kids to go play, be with their teammates. I have no ground whatsoever. If you tell me, hey, Paul, these kids are enjoying their last few weeks together, they're going to go to a destination spot, unless we're talking about the famous Potatoes Bowl. They're going to go to a destination. That's cool. All right, I'm done for the day. I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit well, in a better place, actually. Gabriel, remind me tomorrow. Have a Snickers before I do the show. For Gabriel Sellers, I'm Paul Swann. We'll see you in a few hours tomorrow. Until then, good night.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.